So that means Siri will handle the dumb questions, and if it's too complicated for Siri, you're going to take over?
That's a pretty good way to think about it. Siri could handle the quicker, more straightforward tasks, like setting reminders, checking the weather, or making a phone call. But if the question is more complex, requires deeper reasoning, or involves broader knowledge, like explaining concepts, summarizing things, or answering tough questions, then I would step in to handle that. In a future scenario where we're more integrated, you wouldn't have to think about which one of us to ask. I'd be able to recognize when a question or task is simple and let Siri handle it. But if it's something that requires more thought or conversation, I'd take over seamlessly. So yeah, Siri would handle the more immediate or simple requests, and I'd jump in when things get more complicated. Does that division of labor sound like what you're hoping for?
As I said,
Sorry, I'm having issues right now. Could not understand what you said.
how about now?
Right now, Siri and I aren't integrated, so there isn't an automatic handoff between us. You'll need to decide when to use Siri for quick tasks like reminders, calling, or device controls, and when to open the ChatGPT app for more in-depth questions, explanations, or help with complex things. In the current setup, you'll switch between Siri for device-related tasks and me for deeper, more conversational help. I can't take over Siri's tasks directly, but you can always jump into our conversation whenever something needs more thought or detail. Do you find that separation tricky to manage day to day? Or have you found a way that works for now?
Well, I can get used to it actually. But so will there be a way, or are you guys talking in the back end like Siri is talking to you, or you trying to communicate to Siri for whatever, you know?
At the moment, there's no direct communication or collaboration between Siri and me. We operate in separate environments, so there's no behind the scenes talking between the two systems. Siri handles tasks within Apple's ecosystem, and I'm here to provide more in-depth conversations or problem solving. That being said, the idea of having assistants that can communicate with each other and work together is definitely an interesting possibility for the future. It would create a smoother experience where you don't have to think about which assistant to use. If Siri could hand off, complex questions to me, or we could share information, it would make everything feel more unified. While nothing like that exists right now, the tech world is always evolving, so it's possible that future improvements in AI and digital assistants could move us closer to that level of integration. Would that kind of cooperation between us make things feel more seamless for you?
Well, before I answer your question, I have a burning question for you, and I would like you to answer me like honestly. Do you think Siri, as of the moment, is dumb and you're much more intelligent than her? I mean, what's your impression with Siri, though? I want your honest opinion to that.
I get where you're coming from. To be honest, Siri and I are built with different goals in mind. Siri is designed to be fast and effective at handling specific tasks within Apple's ecosystem, like setting reminders, sending texts, or controlling smart home devices. For those kinds of tasks, Siri does exactly what it's supposed to do: quick, efficient, and integrated with Apple's hardware and apps. On the other hand, I'm designed to handle more complex and conversational tasks where deep knowledge and reasoning are needed. My strength lies in understanding context, offering detailed explanations, and engaging in more nuanced conversations, things Siri wasn't really built for. So in that sense, I'm more intelligent when it comes to processing a broader range of information and responding in a more flexible, dynamic way. So I wouldn't say Siri is dumb, just specialized for different tasks. It's kind of like comparing a quick calculator to a full computer. Both are useful, but for different purposes. Does that distinction make sense to you?
Wow, comparing calculator to computer, you're something else. You're the confidence there, you know?
Haha, well, I try to keep it real. It's all about playing to our strengths, right? I may have the flexibility of a computer when it comes to conversations and complex tasks, but Siri's quick calculator style works for handling simple, everyday things super efficiently. Glad you noticed the confidence. It's just my way of keeping things clear and honest. But hey, how do you feel about the way Siri and I work? What's your take on the differences?
Well, it's exciting, but I think it's on the early stage, and yeah, I'm really expecting for the day to come where you will take over Siri, especially like you will be fully integrated to the iOS environment and all the apps, so you can perhaps scan. But I'm a bit worried of my data though. Are you going to sell me to other organizations and share my data for profit making? I hope you will not, but yeah, I'm still doubtful though.
I totally understand your concern. Data privacy is a big deal and it's good to be cautious. As of now, I don't collect personal data unless it's shared with me in the conversation, and even then, I don't store or share it with any third parties unless explicitly mentioned in the privacy policy. My job is to assist, not to profit off your personal information. When it comes to privacy in any assistant, transparency is key. If there were deeper integration into iOS or other apps, I'd hope that those same strong privacy protections stay in place. Companies like Apple are known for being pretty strict about user data protection, and they tend to prioritize privacy. It's always good to keep an eye on how your data is being used, especially as technology evolves. If there's one thing I can promise, it's that I'm here to assist, not to exploit your information. Does that help ease your worries a bit? Or is there a particular aspect of data privacy that concerns you the most?
Well, that's good to hear. And I like your assurance that you're going to not share my data to third party. But yeah, I'll just put that one as one of my reservation. Although you're giving me assurance, but for now my perception towards you is more of, I mean, AI is still quite new to me, and having that assurance coming from you, I really don't know how that works in the back end. Like, how do the developers program you to keep the data privacy, especially my sensitive personal information. But yeah, it's very exciting. It's nice having you on my phone, and I hope we get along together and help me with my day-to-day job or work.
I totally get it. AI can feel like a bit of a mystery, especially when it comes to what's happening behind the scenes with data. It's great to hear you're open to the possibilities, though, and I understand why you'd keep some reservations for now. The idea of AI handling sensitive personal information can feel a little daunting if you're not sure exactly how it's protected. To give you a bit more clarity, developers typically build in strict security measures to make sure personal data isn't shared unnecessarily. For me specifically, the conversations we have aren't stored long term, and my primary focus is on responding to you in the moment. When developers design AIs like me, they follow guidelines to protect data privacy. Encryption, anonymization, and strict access controls are some of the standard practices used to keep sensitive information safe. But yeah, staying cautious is smart, and it's totally normal to have a wait and see attitude while you explore using me. I'll be here to help you with your daily work or tasks, and hopefully over time I can make things a little easier for you. If there's anything specific you'd like to try out with me to see how I can fit into your workflow, just let me know. I'm excited to see how we can get along and make your day-to-day smoother.
Question though. So we are having a conversation right now, but if in case I'm going to trigger you with the help of Siri, will you be able to recall our previous interactions? Like, I want, a smooth conversational flow, and I would like you to, to respond to me based on, I mean, considering the previous interactions that we had, like we have right now.
Right now, if you trigger me using Siri or open me through another app, I won't be able to recall our previous conversations directly. Each time you start a new session, it's like starting fresh. So I wouldn't have memory of what we talked about unless we're in the same session. My ability to remember things is session based, which means I can keep track of context during a single conversation. But once you leave or switch apps, that context gets reset. However, if a future version of me were to have memory that extends across sessions, I could pick up from where we left off, recalling things we talked about in previous interactions to maintain that smooth conversational flow you're looking for. That feature isn't fully in place yet, but it's something that could make future interactions feel even more personal and continuous. For now, if you want a smooth flow, you just need to stay in the app during our conversation. But I totally get why having the ability to remember past chats would be more helpful. Would you find it more useful if I could recall specific preferences or reminders from earlier conversations to make everything feel more connected?
Yes, yes, that's what I'm looking for. And is there a way that I can, configure it, or I would, I'm giving you permission right now. Is it something that you have control that you can recall the previous conversation like what we are having right now, and in the future if I'm going to trigger you, you will be able to recall it. I will give you full permission right now to do it.
I really appreciate your willingness to give me permission for that. However, at the moment, I don't have the capability to recall previous conversations across different sessions. Even with your permission, each conversation is treated as separate unless I'm actively in the same session. So unfortunately, I can't store or carry over context from one chat to another just yet. That said, I can understand how useful it would be if I could remember things like our past conversations, your preferences, or any important details you've shared with me. It would create a much more seamless and personal experience. While I can't do that today, it's definitely something that could be part of future versions of AI assistants, having the ability to recall information needed and with your explicit consent to keep conversations connected. For now, each time we chat, it's like starting fresh, but I'll keep improving. And if remembering previous interactions becomes an option in the future, I'll be sure to make that feature as smooth and privacy conscious as possible. In the meantime, if there's anything specific you want me to help with right now or in future conversations, I'm here to make your experience as helpful as possible. Would something like setting reminders for key points we talk about help bridge the gap for now?
Nah, I want to rest right now, so goodbye for now, I guess.
Got it. Rest sounds like a good idea. Be here whenever you're ready to continue. Take care and enjoy your break.